5 hours ago, Roblox made an announcement on the dev forum, the place where all the developers look to see what great things are being forced upon us. It says, updating experience guideline policies to keep our younger users safe. Now that's true. That is what is happening here. And because of that, people are not going to be making these kinds of games anymore because they are not going to make nearly as much money as some other kind of game. There are two big things to take away here. Number one, social hangout games will now be limited to 13 plus. They give some examples like vibe games, clubs, socializing, and supportive spaces, whatever that means. But it's still kind of vague and nebulous, like what exactly counts as a social hangout game? I guess we'll just have to see. But yes, those games are now going to be 13 plus. Do with that information what you will. I think this is generally just a good thing because there are some very heinous things happening in those games. Now, this is where I want to direct your attention. Freeform user creation. Freeform user creation applies to features within experiences that allow users to draw or write in 2D, and replicate those creations to other users. Do not miss this part. So if you have a private drawing system, this does not apply to that, only if other people can see it. Now this is where things get kind of strange. Without the completed creation going through Roblox moderation, there is no way to do that. You can have decals, this stuff that's already uploaded, but if you create something in a game, you cannot put it through Roblox moderation. There's just no tools for that. I think that has been announced at some point, but we just don't have that. I would love to have it, because what we're about to talk about is going to be problematic. So they give some examples of what this applies to, like writing or drawing on a chalkboard, whiteboard, or with spray paint. And this one directly calls out a lot of games because there are a lot of spray paint games. And it also says this does not include, this wasn't underlined last time I looked, inexperienced user creations assembled with 3D assets that have individually gone through Roblox moderation. What the heck does that mean? 3D assets that have individually gone through Roblox moderation? Does that mean like stuff from the toolbox? What are we talking about here? Because there isn't really a way to moderate that. Can you prompt people to upload something if they build it? But like, last time I checked, that was a disabled feature. The examples they give are building a house with blocks, creating an outfit, creating short form videos of inexperienced content. So that really only applies to a couple games. But it's interesting that they say building a house with blocks because blocks could theoretically be used to build whatever you want, just like drawing stuff on a 2D canvas could. It's just less detailed. But what about pixelated drawings? Then, like, what's different here? All of this takes effect November 18th. And what is exactly going to happen to these games that don't comply immediately is that they'll get age rated to 13 plus. That is a problem because people like me who make their living on this platform are generally making games for 13 and under, although there are games targeted for older audiences, but the general rule is that if you want to actually make a living on this platform, it's not going to be 13 and up. So what that means is that people are not going to be making games where you can draw stuff. If I go on the front page right now, look in today's picks, there's this game called Speed Draw. This game is currently rated for all ages, 21,000 active players. And Roblox said, you can be on today's picks, you guys are doing great. Maybe it was pity, because as soon as these changes take effect on November 18th, I guarantee that is not going to be 21,000. That is going to be pretty dang cut in half at least, which means that the income the person who made the game is going to be receiving half as much money. This is just speculation, but I guarantee the people playing Speed Draw are casual Roblox players, and they're not over 13 for the most part. I think this is going to push a lot of people in different directions because if someone like me was to say, I'm going to make a game for people over 13, well, I can't really do that in Roblox. Because, like I said, that's just not where the money's at. Despite what Roblox says, I really don't think most Roblox players are above 13. They might be a little bit above it, but after that, it really drops off. And the rationale that devs are going to have is that if they want to make a game for older people, an older audience, it's not on Roblox. We're just not going to have the success here that we would on other platforms. Right now, a lot of people are very worried it's just going to get worse, and we really don't have any official response to clarify things. We've got responses from notable people like Rob Blanke. He created a game all around this concept, which is currently 13 and up because of what happened. Now you may look, this game is nothing to scoff at. It's quite a significant title on this platform, and his opinion is very much shared because this is very vague. I'm also sharing concerns for games like Build a Boat for Treasure, Retro Studio. This one's also very much probably going to be 13 and up. I also want to draw attention to Hoofer's response. Good friend, good buddy. He wants more clarification on a few things, namely, what counts as 2D? Because if we're looking at spray paint games, is that 2D? I don't know. That's technically 3D, but it's 2D? I don't know. We really need an answer. Because apparently 3D is exempt from this rule. There are also games that make use of wiring systems, like this is Hooper's game Oaklands, and I can think of Lumber Tycoon as well. Does this count as drawing? Because if this counts as drawing, what are we supposed to do about that? Just no more cool tech, I guess. Another one of Hoofer's points is that if you give the player a lot of freedom and tools like this, they can technically make their own 3D assets that don't go through moderation, I guess, but it's built out of smaller things that the dev approves. It's weird. It's open-ended. Like, what's not allowed here? I don't know. What really bugs me about this is that we have until November 18th until our games just get slashed. Roblox has a very corporate, smug response here where they say, yes, we recognize this deadline is soon, but we greatly appreciate your cooperation. And of course, yes, this is great. Roblox should be safe and great for all ages. What I would love to see is just some way to check if the player is allowed to see custom drawings, because there are plenty of games that are not completely revolving around being able to see that kind of stuff. If we could just disable it for certain people, I would be totally cool with that, and it would just be a win for everybody. Let me know your thoughts. See yous.